Coming up, 8 incredible archers in World Archery's first remote international tournament, the Lockdown Knockout. It's 2020 and sports events are taking a hiatus while the world rightly focuses on dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. So, instead of the traditional archery tournaments like the Hyundai Archery World Cup that would normally fill the calendar, World Archery has launched its very own innovative remote competition. The first Lockdown Knockout is an exclusive invitational event for 8 compound archers. They'll compete in live head-to-head competition from the comfort of their own homes and ranges for a prize purse of 1,000 Swiss francs. 4 of the world's best men and 4 of the world's best women received an invitation to take part, and the final is guaranteed to see the last remaining unbeaten man take on the last unbeaten woman. Let's meet the contenders. First up, it's the silver medalist from last year's World Championships, Paige Pierce. Croatia's multiple champion of field archery in Europe, Domagoj Budin. Former long-time Mexican international on the cusp of a debut for the USA, Linda Ochoa Anderson. Her husband and the 2016 World Field Champion, Steve Anderson. Winner of the first compound event at the European Games, Toya Ellison. The first archer to shoot a perfect round indoors, Mike Schlusser. Colombia's 5-time Hyundai Archery World Cup champion, Sara Lopez. And the reigning World Archery Youth Champion from Norway, Anders Faugstad. Normally, archery competitions have 2 phases. First, athletes shoot a qualification or ranking round. This gives each archer a seed, which is used to decide their positions in the brackets. The Lockdown Knockout was no different. Despite being in different cities, these 8 compounders shot 60 arrows over a weekend. Anders Faugstad qualified top with an impressive 596.
Hey guys, just finished my qualification round and it went really well. I'm really happy with the result I got. The arrows hit the middle and my bow worked perfectly, so it was super. I just hope that everybody else in the tournament is having fun, and I wish them good luck.
Mike Schlusser was second on 589 and Paige Pierce was the top qualifying woman, scoring 587 out of a possible 600. In this competition, the men enter on the left side of the bracket while the women begin on the right. So these are our first round matchups. Anders faces Steve, Mike faces Dom, Paige faces Linda, and Sarah takes on Toya. The matches will follow normal rules wherever possible. Each archer will shoot 15 arrows at 18 metres in 5 ends of 3, and the archer with the highest score wins. The maximum is 150 points, and if there's a tie at the end of 15 arrows, we'll head to a single arrow shoot-off. Closest to the middle wins.
Steve told us before this event he shoots in the 1-3-2 order, so bottom left, bottom right, top target, and is going for the clockwise rotation.
Cracking finish there from Steve. The archers will now go down to the target end. As you predicted, Chris, the first arrow from Anders was in the 9, so Steve leads after the first end 30 plays 29. Close. I think that might have snuck into the 10 though.
I agree with you.
All day, boys.
Another close one. Is that the first drop points from Steve Anderson? The guys will make their way back down to the target as we wait for their scores.
My score is 10-10-10.
You said you're into the groove. You certainly are.
I've got 10,
And
10,
Steve? Perfect. There we go. So first drop point from Steve. I wonder if Anders was playing with us there with a very long hold. I thought it'd frozen, but he got a 10. So the last arrow from Steve here needs to put the pressure on.
Low 10. Low weight is 10.
Low 10 calls Steve.
Low Vegas 10, so that's well out because in Vegas they use the recurve scoring. So that'll be a 9 on the small 10 that we use.
Oh, and a solid final arrow from Anders. So, Chris, you're calling a 9 for Steve's last arrow.
Oh, that's well out. Miles out, unfortunately. He had a bit of trouble with that top target, it looks like. I think Anders had dropped one on that first arrow as well. So there was an opportunity to put some pressure on from Steve, but not quite to be, unfortunately.
I always have problems when it comes to first shots. So when I shot first shot now, it's kind of a little bit tense, a little bit nervous. I don't want to disappoint people with shooting, So you kind of get the same feeling. You have the sense of expectations from people, but after the first shot, you kind of forget it and try to get them into rhythm and shoot better and better. So even though it's webbed up and it's not live, we're not in the same area. I still feel like the tense, situation going on. So it's really cool.
Long hold, but that also looks good for a 10. So now the tension really does start to build. 2 arrows left for each of these archers. Mikey goes first. Oh, straight down the middle. And that's another great shot from Dom as well. I've got the pair on 2 10s, so all square. It comes down to the final arrow in the final end. And that's a 10. Pressure moves on to Dom here. He's got to score a 10 for me to stay in the competition. No pressure, Dom.
I went a bit low, right?
Close, very close, but Dom called it. He thinks that's gone low and right and into the 9. Guys, please go down to your target ends. Leave the arrows in the target. Chris, I've got a perfect 30 for Mikey, but I think Dom gave that one away a little bit there. 29, I've scored him for that 5th end.
Well, what a great last end to the match. Let's see what Dom scored first. What's that, Dom?
Yeah, Dom, go ahead.
It got the line, so it's 3 10s. It's
Three
like a
tens.
Oh,
coffee.
brilliant stuff. 3 10s from
So I
Dom.
got 3 10s as
Mikey,
well.
can you confirm a 3 10er as well? So another perfect score from both these brilliant archers, and they finish on a 146. Guys, unprecedented times, and we've got our first shoot-off in this lockdown knockout tournament. That looks like a solid 10 for me. It's over to Dom. He's got to put this one in the middle. Oh, that looks close as well. Guys, if you could go down to your targets. Mikey's looks low, but in the center. Chris, what would you call for Dom's? A little low and right?
I think they're both tens, but I think the best thing is if both guys pick their phones up and try and get them a bit closer to the targets, and we'll get a better look. Is that all right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. Mine is, I don't know if you guys can see it like this. Just inside out.
Are you
Just
touching the
inside.
line, Dom, on yours?
Yeah, I'm just touching the line.
Are you not
Oh,
touching the line,
Chris.
Mikey?
You want to see it again?
Yeah. Do we agree, Dom, Mike?
Yeah, I think Mike's is better.
You've won, Mike.
That's
Yeah, I think
very
as well.
generous.
Like looking at it,
Very
mine is
generous of
clearly
Dom there.
touching the 10.
Well, there we have it. It's Mike Schlusser who wins the second quarter final, but only just. Mikey, what a brilliant match. Dom, what a great competitor he was. How do you feel about winning this quarterfinal and going through to the semis?
It feels pretty good. Like before I started shooting, I was like, it's just like a fun shoot kind of, but like shooting on the line, and I felt nervous. And it really got to me a little bit. And I think that's why my first wins were not as great as they should have been. But I'm happy how I shot, and I'm looking forward for the next final.
Looks like it's just dropped into the 9, so over to Paige. Good correction there from Linda. That top target has been a good one for Paige. That looks like another 10. It's a little bit of a pull on that one. Looks like it might be on the line. And looks like Paige has finished off with a 10. Ladies, if you'd like to go and retrieve your arrows. A 10, 10, 9, a 29 again. 3 in a row from Paige and Linda.
10, 9, 9.
Another, thank you. Another 28 for Linda Ochoa Anderson. That one looks a little low and right, so potential 28 for Linda. Well, I think a 9 would have been enough, but it looks like Paige has finished with a 10. And ladies, if you can make your way down to the target, we will be coming to you first, Linda, to see what your scores are. Chris, any thoughts at this stage?
Well, a fantastic finish by Paige. That last arrow, satisfying when it hit, straight in the middle and deep in the target as well. Good match from Linda, but I think this one's Paige. Paige, you're going to face Sarah or Toya in the next round. Do you have a preference to who you compete against?
Honestly, I feel like both of those girls are powerhouses. And with the little arrows, this is such a different game than we're used to, that you have to make perfect shots to be able to hit that small 10 line. So I think either of them is going to give me a run for my money.
Well, looks like a 10 and a 9 for Toya and a 9 and a 10 for Sarah.
Well, that's another one low. That's 2 points dropped in that end from Toya. Chance for a lead here.
Is that on the line as well?
No, I don't think so. I think that's about a millimetre out. We could be level again.
Yeah, it looks to me like a 10-9-9 for Toya, and from what you've just said, Chris, a 9-10-9 for Sarah. Looks like Brady is up there already. So, Brady, can you let us know what Toya's score is, please?
10-10-9.
Thank you, Brady. If you could draw those arrows, that would be fantastic. And Sarah, what about you?
I have 10-9-9.
A
I don't know if you can see them.
10-9-9. Chris, are you going to call that one?
I am. That's a 10. What a finish. Perfect 30 from Sarah. 10 to win here for Toya.
Now, is that on the line, Chris? Your call?
I think that's a 9. Let's just get confirmation on those arrows from Sarah, because if this has it scored on the graphic, we'll be headed to a shoot-off.
Yeah, so we wait for Sarah. Sarah is down at the target. Sarah, could you go through arrow by arrow what you shot there, please?
10-10-10.
A perfect 30 to finish off for Sarah Lopez. Fantastic. Now, what has Toya done? A 10-9-9 confirmed. And in the final end, Sarah Lopez has drawn level at 1-4-3 apiece. That's very, very close indeed. That may well be slightly closer to the center. You can just see Toya's arrow to the right. It's perfect height.
I think she swung that a bit right. Guys, can you pick up the phones and can we get a closer look at these?
So that's Toya's on
I
the
don't know if you
left.
can see it because I don't have a picture on my phone right now to see what you're saying. But
Yeah, we can see it. If you could just take it slightly closer to the entry point of the arrow. Well, it's between you and the two of you, Sarah and Toya. I think we know from
Well,
what we can
Sarah's is
see
a
here.
10 and mine is not.
Bang on
Sarah.
consensus there from both the archers there. Toya
yeah, I
agrees that she
have
shot a
a
9.
10.
And that
Okay.
10, Sarah will take it. Congratulations, you've made it through to the semi-finals of this lockdown knockout tournament. A step closer to some prize money that you're going to give to charity. How do you feel about it? How was the competition for you?
It was really fun. I mean, we had a lot of fun putting this together earlier, and I don't know, I'm really happy, and it was really fun. I was stressed about the weather, but everything worked perfectly, so I'm really happy and proud, and thanks to Toya for making this fun to me.
After all our quarterfinals are complete, as we said, Faugstad and Schlusser through on the men's side of the draw. Paige Pierce won yesterday, and Sarah Lopez has come through a really fantastic match with Toya Ellison here. The women's semi-final will be between Pierce and Lopez. Compound archers usually use thick arrows when shooting 18 meters. The maximum diameter of an arrow in competition is 9.3 millimeters. The extra width allows them to catch more lines and score more points. The scores are lower and the matches more exciting in the lockdown knockout for one simple reason. The archers have been made to use thin arrows, which are more suited to the standard outdoor competition distance of 50 meters. It made things quite a challenge.
With the little arrows, this is such a different game than we're used to, that you have to make perfect shots to be able to hit that small 10 line.
Paige Pierce, Sarah Lopez, Mike Schlusser and Anders Faugstad are our lockdown knockout final four. Sarah and Mike are the reigning Hyundai Archery World Cup champions. Paige and Anders were both runners-up at the 2019 Hyundai World Archery Championships, and they're both shooting this tournament indoors, which lends an advantage because unlike their semi-final opponents, they don't have to deal with the wind and rain. But in these short matches, anything can happen. Solid start from Anders.
Excellent. You can really see his there. I didn't really notice that from the other angle we had for his quarterfinal.
That one dropping low. Do you think that's still in the 10, Chris?
No, I think that one's just dropped out. Early advantage to our Norwegian friend.
A slightly low one.
Yeah, Mikey's dropping low in the 10, the recurve 10 ring, but out of the compound 10 ring, that tiny central ring that's only 2 centimeters in diameter.
Another good shot. Looks like a perfect 30 for Anders. Now that's a little bit closer, but do you think that's gone into the 10 ring, Chris?
Yeah, that's hit it. Yeah, Mikey's recovered with his last arrow there, but it's a pretty difficult for the Dutchman. He is shooting outside. We watched him shoot some practice arrows, and he was hitting the middle den. So I don't know quite what's happened. Maybe a little bit of nerves, maybe a little bit of condition shift, but it could be an important 2 points dropped.
Oh, he's found the middle this time.
Yeah, much better arrow.
It's a 4th 10 for Anders. Looks like Mikey's dialed in now.
You have this with Mike. When he's shooting on point, he's either hitting the exact middle of the target, or it's not quite in the middle at all, not hitting the 10.
That was a very, very long hold from Anders. And that's dropped on to the bottom of the yellow. Is that clipping the red?
It's clipping the red, but it'll be scored a 9. I was holding my breath during that shot. I think I started turning blue.
A little pull there at the end, but I think that's finished in the 10.
Yeah, pull because the dot in his sight was probably floating just below the center of the target, and he just wanted to push it up there, and he's caught it at the bottom.
Back in the middle for Anders. I've got him marked as a 29, Chris, but a 30 for Mikey. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that 2-point deficit that Mike had after the first 3 arrows is suddenly down to 1.
Well, Mikey needs a really good start here. That one could be a 9 as the door opened. Mike Schlosser here. Solid finish from Mr. Perfect. I've got that down as a perfect score. Another long hold, but that looks like a 10 to me. But we'll ask the guys to go down and retrieve their arrows. We will go to Mike's target first. Chris, I think that's a 30. Are you on the same page?
I'm on the same page as you, Karim. No mercy from Anders there. Mike with a fantastic finish, and it's just those 2 9s in the first end that have made the difference in this match. Not a lot to separate them since.
I was really nervous, actually. I know he can shoot 150 if he has the day, and as he said, it's a little bit windy where he is, and since he shoots outdoors, there's a lot more factors into his shooting, so it was just it was a really fun match.
It was just not my day. I felt good and shot really good. I'm happy about that. And Anders shot even better than me, so he definitely deserved the win over here.
Great first shot there.
Yeah, much better. Confident as the last. That's clipped it, definitely.
That looks like a good one too.
I think my heart stopped for a second there before the arrow hit.
That's the best one so far from Paige. Might need to take a closer look at that one. Chris, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's in. Just how quickly Sarah's shooting. It's right back in her normal routine. Of all of the internationals that shoot at the highest level, Sarah and probably Mike are the two fastest.
Another one clipping the line there for Paige.
Yeah, excellent target.
That one going a little high, so the ladies will go down to the target end to retrieve their arrows. Chris, I've got a 30 plays a 29 on this end. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a 30 on Paige's target, almost definitely. That last arrow from Sarah is the one we really need to take a close look at. It might have clipped the top of the line, but I think it's probably a tiny bit out.
Yeah, that is Sarah's target there on the right. Sarah, if you could confirm your scores for us.
10, 10, 9.
And that's another 10 to start. Now, has that one dropped low?
Yeah, that one's out. So Sarah's a point behind after the first arrow of this last end.
Now for that tricky top target for Paige. That looks like it's in the middle. Pressure moves to Colombia. Looks like a 10. Can Paige put this one out of reach? Well, that looks like it's a 9, so maybe the door is open. For me, a 10 is required for Sarah to force the shoot off. Oh, that looks like it's right in the middle. Sarah looks like she dropped a point on the first arrow. Paige dropped one on the last. And for me, I've got them all square at 29 apiece. Chris?
Well, this is what Sarah does best. When she needs to, she delivers. We saw it in the first match in the quarterfinal when she needed that 30 and then the 10 to win the shoot-off. And she's done it again here to force the shoot-off after dropping with her first one. But let's get those arrows confirmed.
Well, there is Sarah with a 10-10-9 and a 10-10-9 for Paige as well. We are all square at 145 points each after the 5 regulation ends. Now that looks like a 9 to me. An opportunity for Lopez to win this in another shoot-off. That's exceptionally close as well. I have to say, it looks closer to the center. Chris?
Yeah, I think that one from Sarah slipped to 10. Paige just pushed hers low. She pushed the last arrow of regulation high, and I think she's tried to compensate a little bit, and she's pushed that arrow low. That's definitely not a 10. So if Sarah's has clipped the 10, the shoot-off will go to her, and it'll be her second consecutive shoot-off win.
Well, just moving the camera in for us. Sarah, we know that Paige has shot a 9. what have you got?
Yes. Sarah's is closer.
I got a 10.
A 10 and closer to the centre and sportingly conceded there by Paige. Sarah, how do you feel? You've come through a second consecutive shoot-off and you are into the final of the Lockdown Knockout Live tournament.
Well, I'm really happy because I wanted higher scores this time from my side because I wasn't really proud of the last one. But for sure, I had a lot of fun and it was a pleasure to be selected with all these girls. I admire them so much. So I will be sure I win this for them.
Anders, listen, you shot 148 and 149. Can we expect even more from you today?
Yeah, I'm getting better and better, it seems, but I have to pull out some extra to, shoot 150. It's not something you do every day, especially not in the final, but I think there's potential.
How have you been preparing for this final?
Just like always, having fun, smiling, shooting fast, and hoping for the best.
Now, we said right at the beginning of the tournament that you're donating your winnings to charity, so you're guaranteed 500 Swiss francs. Can you tell us who you're donating the money to?
I already talked to them. There's like an organization here in my city that they buy food for people, animals, and they also like try to collect clothes and toys and everything. Like right now, they are around the city collecting stuff. So they're really happy that I already secure a lot of money. That's a lot of money in Colombian pesos. So we are really happy for that.
Well, it's a very admirable thing you're doing. Good luck to you, and of course, good luck to Anders as well. Well, it's a 10 to start by the looks of things. And an even better one from Stara there.
A fantastic opening arrow from both these archers, both these finalists in the first Lockdown Knockout.
Looks like both archers scored a 9 on their second arrow.
Doesn't look like we'll be having a perfect 150 here today.
Ooh, was that clip the line?
Quite possibly.
Well, Chris, I've got a 29, plays a 28 here. So as you predicted, there's not going to be the 150 that we were hoping for. But look, while the archers go down to pick up their arrows, can you just let us know how important this tournament has been for World Archery? Because it is incredible.
Well, I mean, we didn't have anything going on this summer with everything cancelled or postponed. So to have or to be able to show some live archery is fantastic for us. It's fantastic for our fans. Fantastic for the sponsors and partners we have as well, and also the TV stations. I know that we've been on TV in Japan on the news. Mike's had a news station come and visit him for his match on Thursday as well. And there's not much going on at the moment, so it's great that we've been able to do something. Sarah's been a bit quick here.
Been incredible, incredible. But Sarah, yes, has put up her scores a 10.99, so a 28 for Sarah. Anders, what have you got?
Yeah, I forgot my my pen, of course. So, but I'm at the line now, and it's 10.99 for me as well.
A 10.99 as well. So
Yeah,
28
just out on
all
this one.
between the two archers. Well, that could be on the 10 line. Oh, that's a lovely shot from Sarah. I think we're still struggling with a bit of sound from Colombia, but we still got Anders going. Another one that could be clinging to the line. I'm going to put that as a 10 on my scoreboard.
He's hitting a little low, as Anders.
Great shot again from Sarah. She's found the middle of the target for sure.
Very impressive, considering you might be a little bit worried with all this connectivity issue going on.
Great shot there from Anders. I've got him down for a 30, but Sarah's been shooting so well in this end. Another one. I'm going to call that definitely a 30 for Sarah Lopez, and looks like she's happy with it. We can't hear her, but she can hear us, I'm told. Chris, 2 arrows from Anders on the line. Are you calling those 10s?
No, they'll be tight. I think that one in the bottom left is probably the closest. I mean, we got that first end wrong. We thought he got a 29, and I got it wrong for longer than everybody else. So I'd be interested to see what those 2 line calls come out with. I don't think any of Sarah's are in doubt. Hopefully, at some point we'll get her sound back, and we'll be back in the lead room.
I believe we've got Sarah back. But let's go to Anders first. Anders, what have you scored?
I saw 10, 10, and then 10.
So 3 10s from Anders Faugstad from Norway in Stavanger, and in Pereira, it's Sarah Lopez. That was some great shooting, Sarah. You've got a 30, I think?
I have 30.
Right, well, the sound isn't perfect, but I think Sarah said it was a 30, so we're still square. It's 58 apiece. Oh, that's dropped very low. That's a 9 for me, Chris.
Yeah, we saw that in Anders' last match. There was that one arrow that he just held on to for a long time, and he threw it low, ripping off his release aid.
Sarah just ignoring us completely and shooting a 10.
No, I think that one could be low as well.
Really?
Critical arrows on this first arrows of the third end.
That's a little low, but I think it might be a 10.
Again on the line.
Wow.
Oh, the clouds there, it looks a little difficult to see that one, but that also looks like it's close.
Sarah said low after she shot it. She's clicked her sights, could have clipped it. She'll try and move those up into the middle.
Anders has put another one low and right. I think that's another 9 from him. Straight in the middle, though, for Sarah. You know what, Chris. I think that's 28 apiece for the pair of them again. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it could be. His line calls are very, very difficult to tell from afar. Anders' first and third shots, the bottom two targets are definitely out, but that first one could well have clipped. Sarah, that last one's in, and the other two are on the line as well. So we really need to hear what they can say, what they can see down at the targets.
Yeah, we
Well,
certainly do.
I have 10, 10, 10.
Wow,
This
a
one's hard
10,
putting the line.
10, 10 for Lopez. Absolutely beautiful shooting. And I think that has probably put her into the lead. Anders, what have you got?
Well, I have a 9, 10, and a 9 way out there.
Wow,
28.
so a 28 for Anders Faugstad, a perfect 30 for Sarah Lopez. And look what that has done to the scores. Lopez leads 88 to 86. Great start for Anders there. A 10 for me. Chris, agreed?
Yeah, this isn't a position he's been in so far in this tournament. He needs to chase Sarah here, keep the pressure on, and hope she drops some points to level things up.
Well, I know the archers don't like us talking whilst they're shooting, but we have seen people coming back from behind.
We have, and Anders doing a fantastic job of it here. 2 10s to start the fourth end.
Ah, but Sarah has found the middle of the target. Another 10. And that one looks a little low. Another super shot from Sarah Lopez in Pereira in Colombia. Chris, I've got a 29
Good news,
place
it's
30.
raining now.
Now we hear that the precipitation has started in Pereira. Chris, a 29 plays at a 30 for me. What about you?
Yeah, that first target, the bottom left for Sarah, could be on the line. That could be a little bit out. Could be a 29-29, but either way, Anders hasn't made huge ground. That last arrow of his dropping low again. This isn't the same kind of consistent shooting we saw from Anders in the first matches.
No. Anders, are you at the target?
Yeah, so it's 10, 10, 9.
A 10, 10, 9. So a 29 for Anders. Sarah, a 10, 10,
Same,
9.
10, 10, 9.
So it's still a 2-point difference. Sarah Lopez in Colombia leading 117 to 115. Another long hold, but a 10, and that's what he needs to do. He needs to put the pressure on Sarah. But when Sarah Lopez is shooting like this, it's going to be very, very tough for the Norwegian. Beautiful shot there from Anders. He has been shooting so well throughout this tournament. Well, another 10 for Sarah, and her groupings on each target looking absolutely fabulous. Well, that is very close, but it looks like the best shooting from Anders so far. Sarah can take the win here. And that also looks like a 10 to me. Another perfect 30. I've got that recorded as 3 30s for Sara Lopez. Chris, your call?
Yeah, I think that last arrow from Anders is a 9. There's 2 arrows on Sarah's that could be, in or out, but I think she's got there. We'll need confirmation down at the target, but a fantastic performance from Sara Lopez here.
Well, let's go to Anders first. Anders, are you down at the target, and can you give us your scores?
Yes, I am. I have a 10-10-9.
A 10-10-9 for Anders, which means he finishes on a 144. Sarah, what have you scored?
I have 10-10, and I don't know, but I will say 10-9. It's really close.
You're calling it a 10-10-9, which for me puts you on a 146 and gives you the inaugural title in the Lockdown Knockout Live.
It was a weird today. I didn't really get into the groove, but that's how archery is. Sometimes you hit and sometimes you don't. So, yeah. But Sarah shot amazingly, so there's not really much you can do. When somebody that you shoot against are shooting so good, there is no way to catch them sometimes.
I'm really happy, and thanks for putting this together. I had a lot of fun, and well, I got my goal. So thank you all for participating. It was an amazing match, and I was expecting. Thank you.
Sara Lopez adds yet another trophy to her cabinet, winning the Lockdown Knockout, the first international remote tournament and her first mixed gender event. Congratulations, Sara. Thanks to all 8 archers for participating, and thank you for watching. We'll be back soon.